Hello, welcome to Working Dragon Mystic, where we discuss real metaphysical and occult knowledge so that you can manifest real and tangible results in your life. This week, we're going to be continuing our series on the Goetia with the spirit of the Goetia Valac. Okay, the 60-second spirit of the Goetia. And for those wondering, because I actually had somebody ask recently, yes, we are indeed still going in order. That is the plan. That way, we don't lose where we're at in line. Okay. And if you have a particular favorite, you can easily figure out when it's coming. Right. Now, we always go through these. We give the general appearance as listed in the Goetia, give any comments if we have them, go over the basic, most common associations, the original purpose mentioned in the Goetia, and then we try to go into modern practical uses that aren't poetic interpretations from days of old. Okay. So let's just go ahead and try and get in here, right? And remember, we are actually having this conversation and recording this live in front of our Working Dragon Mystic community. If you're interested in joining, it is free. You can find links below, okay? Afterwards, we will be having a live Q&A and chat about the topic in the community after the recording. So if you're watching live, feel free to drop any of your questions in the chat box so you don't forget it during my ramblings. All right, here we go. Okay, the Goetia. For appearance of this one, pretty straightforward. We basically have Cupid on a dragon. I ain't even lying. The description of this spirit is a. Okay, my what? Okay, my autocorrect when I typed this, I did not look back at it, but that is freaking funny. Um, appeareth like a child with angel's wings, riding on a two-headed dragon. Okay, that is what the Goetia says. My autocorrect, just so everybody can laugh along with me, it says like a shield with angel wings. Not even lying. That's why I looked at it and I apologize. I'm not even going to edit that out. So appeareth like a child with angel wings riding on a two-headed dragon. That is what the Goetia says. Now, I'll be honest, every time I've evoked this entity, I've never seen a Cupid riding a dragon. I will be absolutely honest. The angel wings, yes. The small humanoid, yes. Probably I would say younger age, teenish, but I wouldn't think child. So there you go. Take that how you want. Maybe some people count that as a child, you know. But they definitely wouldn't count that as a child when you think back how old the Goetia is supposed to be, right? So that wouldn't make a lot of sense with the writing. But anyway, potato, we move on. Most common associations of the spirit: rank, president; metal, mercury; planet, Mercury; color, orange; element, earth. Pretty straightforward, easy, right? Um, areas it can help in. So the original purpose of this particular spirit: give true answers of hidden treasures and tell where serpents may be seen, the which he will bring unto the exerciser without any force or strength being by him employed. My God, I wish that paragraph was screwed up by autocorrect. I know it ain't, because do you have any idea how hard it was to type that as it is in the Goetia? Because even my brain, and I'm not a good grammar, my brain had trouble with that one. Absolutely. Ugh. Unfortunately, that is how it's written, right? And for a lot of people, that doesn't make a lot of sense. In fact, most people, their eyes are going to stick on brings hidden treasure. Woohoo! Hey, hidden treasure is good, Rick. Maybe you're in Florida, got your metal detector. Maybe you're a deep diver. You know, maybe you're looking for shipwrecks. Could be handy, right? Okay. Well, luckily, this does have a bit more practical, everyday, normal person uses that has been found to be very useful in life, in the practitioner's life, right? And that's what we want to talk about. We want to take out the poetics, we want to take out the what ifs, and we want to kind of get focused in on that, right? So the first one is help in getting one to consider you generously in inheritance they are leaving. That's pretty straightforward. Let's be honest. That, you know, you don't know if you're going to be an inheritance, you would like to be in the inheritance. this entity can help them consider you generously as they're filling that out. Few things to consider on this. You got to understand that first off, the spirit has to put you on their mind and on their heart. And if the will and stuff is already there, they got to go in, they got to change it, make sure everything's notarized and everything so that you're included. And they got to be healthy enough to get all that done, or they got to be able to convince whoever has power of attorney to get it done. So this is not something that is a last minute thing, really. This is something you want to try and work on and get worked in early. That being said, they do still have free will. This only makes them consider you and think about you and consider being generous. Now, if you've done something that they absolutely despise you, and that emotion is going to override anytime you pop in their head, probably going to be less effective, right? Going to be one of those things. So you got to take those things in consideration, right? The next one, however, I think is a bit more useful. Help to draw fortune to you so that money comes to you through gifts or coincidence without directly being sought by you. This is kind of the one I think a lot of people have been waiting on, because most of the time when money's brought up, it's got to be things that you're actively doing. It's actively pursuing, like, you're trying to get a job, trying to get a raise, things that you are actively reaching for and seeking out within the standard material world. It helps to boost those paths and avenues. For the first time, we have one that is directly used for things that do not require your involvement. Okay? And yes, anybody who's ever watched this channel long enough, you're probably right. There is kind of a minor catch 22 here, right? Most magicians I've talked to really do come to a consensus on this, and that is it's unreliable, and an exact number cannot be focused on for this, right? It just can't. Like, if you need so much to pay your rent, not really a good entity to work with. You could work with them. It might help. I would say if I need to pay my rent, any dollar helps, right? And before they discontinued the penny, any penny helped. So I would definitely, there's no reason I wouldn't try to get this entity to start getting some of those bits and bobbles to me. That being said, this entity can be put to work to help you find extra on hand money, right? And I don't know anyone who wouldn't appreciate some extra on hand money, really, every month of the year, right? Absolutely. Because even if it's 50, 75, 100, $200 a month, that's $50 to $200 a month that doesn't come out of your paycheck or whatever you're doing. It's extra on top of the norm, which is a big load off. That's a huge help, right? So, and of course, those are small numbers. Most people, a lot of times, will quote me numbers around there. I have heard the higher end numbers, an extra 2 or 3,000 in some cases. But extra money is extra money. And this is where I think Valac really, really excels for most people. You can get Valac rolling in your life basically constantly, basically just kind of dumping a little extra change on your table on the regular, which is boosting your prosperity while you're building prosperity everywhere else, right? We all use pocket money. I like pocket money. I have a money clip on a regular for a reason, right? And in this day and age, there's a lot of ways for this to manifest through free gift cards and discounts and stuff like that can just be saving you money left and right here or there unexpectedly. I know a buddy, he doesn't even know how it happened, but at Christmas, he went to go buy his normal Christmas party booze, and he grabbed him a bottle that was going to be set aside, wasn't going to be used at the party. It's just going to be his, something nice little bottle of scotch. And lo and behold, like when he got up to the counter to pay, there was enough on his account from God knows what, because he don't have any of those little swipey cards or nothing, but it literally gave him a free bottle of scotch. And I want to say that was like an $80, $100 bottle of scotch he picked up for himself. So, not uber expensive and like swanky, scotchy snob drinkers. But at the same time, for me, $80 bottle of scotch, that's pricey. I wouldn't buy it on a regular for sure. Holiday bottle, I could see that. I could see that. So he absolutely accredits that to Valac. And I could absolutely see that, right? Rick, I'd love a free bottle of scotch. How about you all? Uh, free steak dinner. I'd take steak. Just give me a steak. I'll be okay. So that's another way that he can help, is to help with those just random things that drop extra money on the table that can help you with daily expenses that save you money on the back end, which helps with your money go farther. Um, so those are the financial ones. But then let's look at that description again. It says serpents. Everybody's thinking about snakes. I'm like, I won't find no snakes. I don't like snakes. I want to be eaten by a constrictor, and I don't want to be killed by a viper. I get that. However, serpents, most people agree, aren't talking about serpents like the snakes. They're talking about enemies, and that's where the last one actually does come in. Aid in showing showing you your enemy when you suspect someone is working against you. I get this in the community a lot. What do I do if someone's thinking they're working against me? Well, here we go. We're going to talk to Valac about it, because if that's the case, it also causes your enemy to sense that they have been identified and you know. So this will show you who's working against you, and it will also alert them that you know. Okay. Now you might be like, well, that's pointless. That's useless. Why the crap would I want to do that? Well, that depends. And it actually depends on who this person is and their character, because it could scare them off. They could stop what they're doing, tuck tail, and run because you know, and they're cowards. Absolutely. And then often, most times, I'd say 7 out of 10 times, that's the case. Most people, they don't want a confrontation. They're going to tuck tail and run. On the other hand, if they're not the coward, if they're committed to the cause, as it were, if they truly believe in what they're doing, they could double down on their efforts and try to get said problems to go through before you're able to shut them down. So, yes, this one could point out to you that this person is a problem. This person is an enemy. This person is trying to undermine what you're doing. They're trying to shut you down. They're trying to cause you harm in some sense, trying to cause your business harm in some sense. And that can give you information, but it also alerts them that you are aware of what they're doing. So it gives them time to tuck tail and run. Is that the right direction? Is that the right information you want? I don't know. Again, that's something we all have to choose for ourselves. Me, most of the time, I do like it, because, like I said, 7, 8 times out of 10, they're going to tuck tail and run. Just them knowing I know is enough to scare them off and send them hiding under a rock like a little roach. And that's sufficient. They're not a problem no more for me. And for the other times, well, those times I get to have me some fun. I can't answer that one for you. Only you know you. Only you know what's right for you on that one, right? Of course, the sigil we will get up here on the screen so you can see it. For those watching live at the community, it is the thumbnail. Also, if you request, I can also drop it in the chat during our live discussion if you want. Okay. And that's really about it. Now, for me, hands down, the biggest areas I've worked with this entity is definitely in those last two. Um, I've never done the inheritance one. I know people who's used it, and honestly, it's about 50-50. It's not really odds I play, because some people who's used it, they got a great inheritance. They have no way to know if they were going to get it before. So, did it work? Did it not? I don't know. And then on the other hand, they did it, didn't get none of it. So I don't know on that one. I'll just be honest with you. And for me, I mean, I guess it'd be nice. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't turn down an inheritance, but I also don't foresee my family leaving me anything. Personally speaking, that's just my thoughts. So far, they haven't. Um, so there is that. So the drawing in extra riches or extra fortune through coincidence and gifts, those extra little bonuses of money here and there, I love those kinds of things. So I do use that one quite often. especially coming around mid-year, I'll really kind of reach out to Volek or moving in closer to the holiday season. I like to start at mid-year so it has time to ramp up, because about mid-year is where I really start to try and look at holiday funds, just to make sure they're there. Um, though every year goes by, I have fewer and fewer people to buy for, so there's also that, right? Um, but I do try to keep Volek working in some manner or fashion. It's always nice to have a little extra cash. At the same time, as a Dragon Magic practitioner, I've also found X well. When you're working with him, when you're trying to reach goals, even while he's driving you to reach those goals, he tends to be a dragon that likes to drop pocket change around for you, even when you're not asking, just because you're working with him. So I kind of get that effect just by having him working in my life all the time too, which is nice. Part of me has considered doing an experiment to see who I think drops the most pocket change. Who knows? I might actually become a rich man by there competing. You never know. Uh, Probably not, but you never know. The next one, the showing of your enemies, like I said, I've already talked on that one. I like it because, again, most of the time, someone just knowing you knows enough to run them off. And at the end of the day, that's a peaceful resolution to a problem. And it saves your time and energy because problem undoes itself. Uh, so that'll be it. I'm going to go ahead and get off here, and I'm going to join up with the community here so we can have our discussion. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And again, consider joining the Working Dragon Mystic community. You can find the links below. You will get early access to any of the content because these are recorded weeks in advance before they show up on YouTube or Rumble. And you can also join us live in the after conversations as well. We also have a lot of other things that we do in the community, as well as live Q&As where you can ask me anything, not topic based or anything. All right. Till next time, everybody, I'm Drake. This has been Working Dragon Mystic. Take care. Bye-bye.